He moved closer to her. She had thought that he would leave on his bike, but the intensity in his eyes had her mesmerized. She looked at him intently, but she patted her lips, watching his every move as he stalked towards her like a predator to prey. She wondered what he was coming closer for. Was this man crazy? Did he see the bodyguards there? She thought to herself as her breath hitched in her throat. He came even closer than he was supposed to, their noses touching each other as she looked into his eyes. He moved back a bit to assess her face, and before she could say anything, his lips were on hers, grazing as he licked them. Then he smiled and moved back. "I knew I had such an effect on you," he said in his deep baritone voice as he climbed his bike and left, leaving her speechless. She had no reaction to what he did. She watched him as he drove away, dumbfounded, not able to think straight. "This man is definitely crazy," she said as she touched her lips. All of a sudden, she remembered that the bodyguards were there, so she cleared her throat and looked around from side to side, wondering if they saw anything. They stood not moving in their position as she hurriedly went into the room with her pizza in hand. She did not remember when she collected the pizza, nor did she remember when he got close enough to touch her with his lips, not to mention lick her lips. She ran up to the room which she was assigned and closed the door. "How could I let that happen?" she shouted aloud, screaming at herself. She dropped her pizza angrily on the bed. "How can I be so stupid to let this happen? I'm not that weak. I'm strong. He's just some dumb man and I'm supposed to be married. What if the bodyguards tell my husband?" "Damn!" she shouted out loud as she moved from one end of the room to the other, trying to calculate what she was going to do next. She felt restless inside and knew her appetite had been lost. She couldn't even taste one slice of pizza because of what had happened. This man definitely left a bad taste in her mouth, bad enough for her not to be able to swallow anything. Maybe it was his tongue that left a bad taste. She scrunched up her face in disgust. Who did he think he was, coming here and trying to kiss me? And he had a stupid smile on his face. I wanted to slap him, she said to herself, aggravated by him. Thankfully, this movie right here is going to distract me, she said to herself as she took the remote control of the TV, which was in the room, and put it on. She laid in bed as she took one slice after the other, savoring the taste in her mouth as she watched a movie. Suddenly, her phone began to ring. She picked up the phone and saw the caller ID was her sister. She answered a call. "Where were you all this while? What happened to you? So many things happened in this house and you were not there for me," she said to her younger sister. "I'm so sorry, sis. It was because of Jude. He said he wanted to surprise me, and so I followed him, because who rejects a surprise anyway? He took me to Hawaii and we had a great time, but he seized my phone so I wasn't able to call anyone. I'm sorry. What happened? I heard you got married." "Well, you have to give me the full taste of that," her sister said excitedly. "Don't be excited because there are a lot of things I have to complain about, which includes Mother and this man that she married me to, like I was a piece of property that anyone could just carry from the shop and pay for," she snarled in annoyance as she explained to her sister, who listened intently to her complaints. "Calm down, Ophelia. Don't worry. I'll come by tomorrow, okay? We'll talk about everything and what's going on right now." "Okay, for now. I have to go. Mother is calling me," her sister said. "Okay, sis. Good night," Ophelia said, hanging up the call. She continued watching her movie, though the thought of the earlier event lingered in her mind. When she was done eating her pizza, she cleared up the boxes and put them outside her door. She came back to watch some more movies as she drifted off to sleep. By the next morning, she woke up and went to do her regular morning routine, but with a bit smaller luxury than she had previously. She saw the bath wash and hair shampoo. It was from Hermes. So this man just has money to throw away on shampoos and body wash and all kinds of things. I'm surprised he's not broke, she said to herself as she had her shower. When she was done, she got out, towel dried, and dressed from the wardrobe. She had told herself that she would enter into this role, but not fully, because the man in question was going to hear from her mouth. Not long after, a call came to her phone. It was her sister again. "Good morning, Ophelia. I'm on my way to you. I took the address from Mother. I'll be there in about 30 minutes, her sister said. "Okay. Can you bring me some coffee as you're coming? I don't know where the kitchen is in this house, and also anything I could take with it for breakfast would be really appreciated, Ophelia begged. All right, I will do just that. See you in a few, her sister said, and she hung up. Ophelia wondered where places were in this house, so she pressed the bell that the butler had told her about, and instantly there was a knock on her door. She was sure it had to be the butler. She went to it and opened the door. Good morning, Adrian. Good morning, madam. I hope you had a lovely night's rest. Yes, I did. So, where is the kitchen? Where is the dining room? And where is the living room? I don't want to be cooped up all day in the bedroom. I am expecting an important visitor. Oh, that's wonderful. But madam, is that wise, as this is supposed to be your honeymoon? He asked her. I don't know what is wise anymore. All right, madam. Please let me show you the living room. She followed him as he took her on a journey like it was in a maze. There were several turns to the living room, and it seemed like something she would have to memorize before she could get the hang of it. What kind of weird place is this? Making everybody look as if we have to solve a puzzle before we get to a certain place. I wonder who the architect of this building is, she said to herself as she looked at every wall, displeased. Once she got to the living room, a lady was already sitting there, watching TV. Adrian looked at Ophelia. Madam, this is the living room, and that is how you get in, he said, his words catching the attention of the strange woman. The woman, spotting her, immediately got up. Oh, well. If it isn't the new house rat, my brother sure knows how to pick them. I hope you're not here to gold dig, because there is no gold for you here, and trust me, I'll make sure you leave without a penny, the lady said to her. Ophelia opened her mouth and said, Shut up! Who are you? I don't care. You're not my class, so you shouldn't be talking to me. Keep your words to yourself and keep your measly hands off my brother's money, pathetic wench, the woman said, catwalking away. The woman's words were not supposed to hurt her, but they did. This was supposed to be the sister of the man she was married to. Here she was thinking she had left hell, and now it seemed like she had dropped into another level of hell. She shook her head as a teardrop fell down her cheek. Madam, please don't be upset. This is the way Miss Prescott is. She's only protective of her brother, and that's why she reacts this way to some people. Ophelia said nothing but wiped the teardrop from her face as she smiled at Adrian. It's okay. I've met worse people. Can you show me to the kitchen now? She followed him as he continued his tour. They got to the kitchen, and plates and pans were clattering with maids aplenty. When they saw her, they immediately halted. Good morning, Mrs. Prescott, they all said in unison with their heads bent low. Ophelia felt sorry for them. She wondered how gruesome living here was that it had humbled these women. Good morning, all of you. Thank you for the nice welcome. I appreciate it. She smiled at them warmly, hoping they would smile back, but they didn't. They kept looking at her and then at the floor. Madam, Adrian called her attention back. I still have a few places to show you. Yes, of course. Lead the way, she said as her eyes lingered on the women as she left with Adrian. A few minutes after they had left the kitchen, a call came on her phone. She looked at the screen, and it was her sister. Where are you? I'm outside. Her sister's voice filled her with excitement. The butler will come and get you, she responded, not wanting to go out after what happened yesterday. She hoped that the bodyguards would not see anything, and even if they did, they forgot about it instantly. At least, not showing up would make them forget. All right, her sister said, and she hung up. She tapped Adrian on the shoulder. Adrian, my sister is outside. Can you please bring her in? She asked. Yes, of course. I can bring her in, he said, wanting to leave. Wait before you leave. Can you take me back to the living room? I can't find my way back to that room because it's kind of confusing, she explained, and with a nod, he led her back to the living room. She sat down there, awaiting her sister's arrival, and in a short while her sister came walking in with the butler. Your sister, madam? He said before leaving the living room. You don't know how much I missed you. I don't know why I'm in this place, she whispered to her sister as she watched Adrian leave the living room. calm down and tell me everything," Jeanette said as she sat down, pulling her sister beside her. "Jeanette, can you believe that Mother made sure I got married yesterday? She told me to come over, and when I did, I went to your room, but I didn't meet you there," she explained. "Ophelia, it was Jude's call. Like I told you on the phone, it was a surprise. I didn't expect it, so I wasn't prepared." "Jeanette, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Mother who told him to surprise you so that you wouldn't be there." "Oh, don't think that way, Ophelia. That's not how Mother is. I know she can be a bit too much at times, but she's not that way." "Well, let me tell you everything. So I get to the altar after being dressed up and everything, thinking I'm going to meet the so-called Prince Charming. Then I see a man at the altar and he's not my husband," she told her sister as she burst out laughing. This situation wasn't funny, but as she said it, it made her laugh, and her sister laughed as well. "Wait, are you trying to tell me that the man who was at the altar wasn't your husband? Like, tell me what he said." Her sister was curious about the whole event. "He told me, 'Oh, I am Alan, I'm standing in for my cousin.' In my mind I was like, what crazy stupid thing is this? I even wanted to leave, and Mother made sure I didn't. Well, basically, I said the vows alone. Can you imagine? Have you ever seen a wedding where they say the vows alone?" she said to her sister, still agitated. Her sister laughed. "I can't believe this. Is that even legal?" "Yes, it is, as I have signed a document which my husband had already signed before the day. Can you imagine him signing a document before he even met me? And do you know, up till now, I have not met him yet. I have been alone in this house all this while." "You don't say, Ophelia, just calm down. I'm sure everything has a nice explanation and you will get yours." "I hope so, Jeanette. I really do hope so. And I hope he's not like a serial killer or something. Before you know it, your sister is dead." "That won't happen, Ophelia. Come on." "I'm just saying, what if that does happen? I don't even know this man. What if he kills me in my sleep? I wouldn't even be alive to call you to tell you the news." Ophelia made her sister laugh out loud. It was always fun listening to her talk, especially when she lamented about something she did not like. Ophelia had a way of making the most of the situation. That was her own way of coping. "Well, don't worry, everything will be okay. I'm sure you'll get an explanation." "I hope so." As they were talking, maids came in with food and drinks. They curtsied and left immediately. Ophelia wanted to talk about them, but she decided against it. It was not her place to talk about them. After a while of chit-chatting with her sister, Jeanette bid her goodbye. Later that evening, Ophelia had done her evening routine and had gotten ready for the night. She had already drifted off to sleep when she heard a sound like rain. Her eyes fluttered open, but it was unclear due to sleep. When she looked out the window, she did not see any sign of rain, so she followed the sound as she heard it. She noticed it was coming from the bathroom, so she walked slowly, wondering who was in the bathroom taking a shower. She remembered she did not lock the door, but it was no problem because she had not locked the door last night either. As she made her way to the bathroom, her heart began to thump. When she got there, she saw a silhouette of a man taking a shower. She came closer. Everywhere was steaming. As she looked closer at him, he turned around as the water cascaded down. She shrieked in fear. She froze, the sound of running water echoing through the steamy bathroom. Her heart pounded in her ears as she inched closer, eyes straining to make out the silhouette behind the shower curtain. She was certain she had been alone when she went to bed. The silhouette seemed to sense her presence. Slowly it turned, the cascading water distorting its features into something inhuman. She opened her mouth to scream, but no sound came out. All she could do was stare in horror as the curtain swept aside to reveal